0, 1. Let's get started.
Okay, I'm back at it again here. We're gonna install the HHP 2-inch headers. Now these headers are made by Cook for HHP, so they are Cook headers. It's a better deal to buy them from HHP because it's a pretty good savings, because you get these pipes right here for the cats. So first thing is you're going to disconnect the battery. They want you to remove this fuse box, not remove it, but loosen it so you can get better access to the bolts, because there is not much room in here. So I'm going to disconnect the battery and get the car up a little bit, and we should go from there. Okay, so for removing this fuse box here, I got the cover, has these little clips. This is a 13 millimeter. Loosen that aside. There is these little clips. You got to push them this way, and then this will lift up. Don't undo these. That will separate the fuse box itself. And then once there's 3 of those. Once it's loose, the fuse box will lift out, and then you can access those 10 millimeters, and then you'll be able to kind of manipulate the fuse box so that you can access more room to the dipstick tube bolt. So I'm going to get these out of the way and work from there. So there is a 10 millimeter way, let's see if I can get my, right there. That's part of this metal bracket here. There's a couple pins that get pushed into there, you know, that hold this. There's also the ABS cover, which is right here. That gets unplugged or taken off. Sorry about that light kind of screwing the view up here. But yeah, so they want you to take the whole bracket out, and there's another push pin down there that's on the brake lines, so that just pops out. So that you get rid of this metal bracket and allow this to be moved over, give you a little more access. So the next step is going to be remove the belly pan. It's held on by 4 10 millimeters. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that will get that out of the way so you can access the exhaust manifolds, the starter. I think you got to undo the steering linkage, which is a 10 millimeter also. Okay, so underneath the car, I'm going to remove these 213s. That's going to take off the shield, and then there's going to be 2 bolts underneath these. I'll probably remove those, I think are 15s. I'll probably remove the wire, which is right there, and I believe there's a plug up there to get the starter out. It's probably easier. It's probably have to remove the knock sensors. Those are just covers. They're bolted on both sides. And then the steering, let's see. That bolt right there on the steering, that's 10 millimeter. That's got to come out. Now just make sure that once you take that out, you mark it before you take it out, and then do not turn the steering wheel, or else it will mess up your clock spring. Just a quick note, there is a 15 millimeter on the transmission. So it's like one of the transmission bolts that goes through to the starter right there. So don't forget that one, else you won't be able to get the starter out. I'm gonna pull the starter out and then disconnect the little clip from the top. You also have to remember that this little tab here, that's to hold the wiring harness, that needs to be, the bolt needs to go through that. So make sure that's on, during reassembly, make sure that's in place. Okay, so next it's gonna be removing these 5/8 bolts from here and here and removing the bolts that connect to the rest of the exhaust system there. This is a knock sensor. This is a little wire, hooks to the starter. This is the other starter wire. What you're gonna do on that side, you're gonna wanna disconnect your O2 sensors so you don't pull them out of here when the cats drop off. You got, let's see, you'll have to disconnect your upstream O2 sensors also once you take the exhaust manifolds off here. Okay, so this is where the steering shaft is. It's connected into there. It pushes up. See how it pushes up in there? Just don't turn it. And then we're gonna work on getting these 10mm bolts off. I'm gonna take off that knock sensor too to get it out of the way so we don't damage it. This is where it's gonna start to get a little hard because some of those bolts are just a pain in the ass to reach. So I'll start working on that. But I mean, as far as this part, I mean, it only took me an hour. And you gotta remember, I'm on the ground. I'm not on a lift. I mean, this took nothing. And that's an hour with like trying to film stuff and stuff like that. So, I mean, you know, you can get this off pretty quick to this point. It's really putting them back on is where it's difficult to reach some of the bolts on the intake manifolds. Or I mean, sorry, on the exhaust manifolds. But we're gonna work on that, and hopefully the next cut into the video will be when these are off. Okay. Here's the exhaust manifold off. Whoops, sorry, my fingers are in the way. I gotta take out the O2 sensor. But, I mean, this job is really just a pain in the ass. You have to have a lot of different tools to reach up in certain spots, or more like extensions and swivels, because it's pretty much this bolt and this bolt are a pain in the ass to get to. There's not enough room. It's just a pain in the ass. Would it be easier on a lift? Yeah, because you're not trying to reach it. Well, I mean, you're still gonna have to reach them, and no matter what, if you're on a lift, it's still a pain in the ass to reach those bolts on both sides. Let me see here. I'll show you what it looks like under here. My little work blanket. This side I got up and in already, which is probably the harder side. So this side, there's the head. You know, it's clean. I mean, I don't know what that is. Might have had a little leak at one point or something. Looks like a little residue from something. This is a knock sensor. Holds on right there. That's for the O2s. That's the rear. That's the front. I believe only the front O2 are wideband on the Hellcat, because these are normal 4-wire O2 sensors. So what you do is you're going to put the gasket up in there, and you're going to put the bottom bolts on so that the header can hang on it. And then you're going to try to reach those other bolts. And like I said, those 2 top ones right there, those are the ones that are a pain in the ass. But I mean, if you're patient and have long skinny arms where you can reach up in there, I mean, you can get it done. It just you'll end up swearing a couple times, but other than that, it's I'm not gonna say straightforward. It's a pain in the ass, but it can be done on the ground. The best way to do it is if you're doing a lot of modifications, what I do is I just leave them on the cylinder heads. When I take off the cylinder heads, it comes right out with them. And then you can, you know, if you were doing cylinder heads, I would definitely do the headers at that time, because you can bolt them right on, and you can slip them down in here, you know, into this part of the underneath of the car relatively easy, so it's not too bad. But when it's up in there like that, it's a challenge, to say the least. But I'll get this one bolted up, and then hopefully probably be one more part to the video, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we got it all in. Finished it up yesterday, but I had to run out, so everything's buttoned up. O2s, they have extensions. They're on there. But that's what it looks like. It's clamped into there. And they look pretty good. They sound pretty good. I gotta get a better recording device for sound, because the iPhone is horrible. But yeah, that's all. That's everything installed. I'll show you what to turn off, or what you normally turn off on HP Tuner, and then that'll be it. Okay, I'm going to show you what to change in the tune here. You're going to go to engine, you're going to go to fuel, and then go to temperature control, and you want to make sure this FA enrichment max is off, and this FA COT EOT, they all have to be zeroed out, because what those will do is add fuel if the cats were getting hot. So since you don't have cats anymore, or since we don't have cats anymore, those have to be zeroed out. That one and that one. And then you're going to go to, let's see, oxygen sensor under fuel, and needs the transport delay. So since you move the, since you have extensions on the O2 sensors, you want to make the delay longer so it reads it right. So basically what I do, these have already been changed, but basically what you do is you highlight it, and you can add 50%. And then you times it, and then it changes it, but I've already did it. So and you do it for both of these, and that should be it. I mean, there's other tuning you can do, but that you should have a professional tuner do. But those two things are pretty straightforward, and you should do them regardless. But that's it. We got more to come. We got some ARP bolts here. We got the new supercharger coming. Pistons. The heads are going to get worked. So there's a lot more stuff to come, so we can start making some power. But other than that, have a great week. Thanks, guys.